In this video, we will learn how to animate this 2D minimalistic logo reveal animation entirely in After Effects. And I will also provide you with a logo animation template which contains 5 unique logo animations which is fully customizable. You can change the logo, the text, and all the other parameters directly from the essential graphics panel. So you can get it from the link that is provided in the description from our official website. Okay, so that being said, without any further delay, let's dive right into After Effects and let's get started with our logo animation. Okay, we are in After Effects and here we have the logo design with the title and a tagline. And we will start with animating the line effect. So let's pick the pen tool and let's draw a shape path. And then using the Bezier handle, I would try to make the overall shape path look good so that it is more pleasing to the eyes. Okay, so the stroke width we have kept is 45 pixels and I have picked this green color. Now let's get down to the contents of the stroke. Inside the stroke, let's open the taper and let's set the start length to complete 100%. Then change the line cap to round cap. After that, let's add a trim path. Let's open the trim path. Let's set end to 22 and start to 13. Now let's animate the offset property. So let's move the playhead at the very start, press U to only open the property with keyframe. And also let's turn off the visibility of all the other layers except the shape layer. Let's move on to around 2 seconds and let's just increase the offset so that the line just move towards the center. And at the start, we would move the offset towards the negative direction so that the line starts from outside the screen. Now let's ease the very first keyframe, press F9. Let's move on to the motion graph and let's slightly give more ease with the Bezier handle. And also let's ease this keyframe and let's move the Bezier handle and make it a bit stiff. Alright, so it looks good. Okay, now it's time to add some secondary shape animations for this line effect. So again, I would select the pen tool and create another shape path following this primary shape path. Let's change the color to white. Reduce the stroke width to 15 pixels. Then go to the stroke settings. And under taper, again, just increase the start length to 100%. Also would like to change the line cap to round cap. Let's add a trim path. And let's start animating the trim path properties. So let's add keyframe on the start, end, and offset. Let's start the layer from here itself. So let's set the start to about 20, the end to around 20 as well. Okay, now let's jump on to next 9 frames. Let's increase the end to about 45 and also add a keyframe on the start. And then again, let's jump on to next 9 frames again and just increase the offset so that it is like at the end of the stroke. And at the start, I would like to start the offset from like -60. And also let's change the start value at the end to about 45 so that the stroke completely vanishes out. Easy is the keyframe. First, let's check out the animation. I think we can make it a bit slower. So let's make it like a few frames slower. I think this one looks better. Okay, so we would start the animation from the point when the stroke is passing from there. So I think we can start it from here. So we would just move it below the main stroke, and this is how it should look like. All right. So let's duplicate this stroke one more time, and we would add another stroke somewhere around here. So let's transform and flip it horizontally. Also, just rotate it along the path. And again, we have to start the animation after the stroke passes this particular point. And similarly, I would also add few more secondary shape animations. Alright, so this is how it finally turns out. Okay, now what we will actually do is just split all the layers, all the shape layers from this point from about 2 seconds, because here we will add a match cut where our logo will pop up. So let's precomp it all together and name it shape 1 or line shape 1. Now I would just duplicate it one more time and just flip it vertically, and then again flip it horizontally. And here we have the shape animation. All right, so now let's animate the logo pop-up. So let's select the logo layer and let's use the logo background as an alpha matte. Turn on the visibility, then also parent the logo with the logo background. And now let's animate the scale property. So open the scale property, add a keyframe. Let's jump on to next 12 frame and again add a keyframe. So at the start, I would like to start the scale property from about 20%. Then from the 12th frame, let's jump on to next 8 frames. So right now we will add some overshoot. So let's add a keyframe. Now again from here, let's jump on to next 5 frame, add a keyframe, and now again let's jump on to next 4 frame and add a keyframe. So here we will add a small overshoot after the pop-up. So here let's increase the scale by about 6%. So let's give it 106. So on the second keyframe, let's increase the scale by about 10%. So let's give it 110. Then on the third one, let's scale it down by about 3%. So 97. And here, let's scale it again up by about 1%. Let's easy is the keyframe now. And now let's go to the motion graph editor. We will use the value graph and let's spike up this with the busy handle so that the animation starts fast. And just pull the busy handle to add some even more hang time and add more ease on each keyframe. So let's check it out. Alright, it's looking good. So now let's copy this scale property keyframes and also paste these keyframes on the scale property of the logo layer. And even I would like to little bit animate the position property in the y-axis. So let's add a keyframe and let's press U to open the properties with keyframe. And now let's jump on to the next keyframe and add a keyframe. At the start, I would just simply move the logo down a bit and then just easy is the keyframe and go to the motion graph editor, little bit decrease the ease or maybe spike it up at the start and just pull the busy handle at the end. This is how it should look like. All right, so now one more thing, I would just offset this keyframes or maybe the overall layer of the logo by a few frames. All right, it's looking even better. And when the logo pops up, we would even animate the circle as well so that the entire background fills up with a white shape. So again, let's open the scale property, add a keyframe, and this time let's jump on to next 30 frames. So we would add like a 1 second of scale up animation. So let's scale it down from here. All right, now easy is the keyframe. Now let's go to the motion graph editor again and just make the graph spiky at the start and pull the busy handle at the end. I would even like to move the keyframe few frames even further. Okay, now let's check out the animation. Yeah, This one is looking even better. Okay, now it's time to animate the text to complete our logo animation. Okay, so let's start the text animation from somewhere around here. So let's start the layer start from here. Let's get inside the composition and let's start with the title of the logo. So let's add an animator. Let's click on animate, then position. I would simply move it up a bit. Then inside the range selector, let's add a keyframe on the start property. Let's jump on to next 25 frame and give it 100%. Easy is the keyframe and go to the motion graph editor and just start the animation with a spike, and at the end I would like to increase the ease also. So if we preview now, it's going to animate later by later. We won't want that. So let's get inside advanced and let's change this to word. All right, so it's looking better. Now let's animate the tagline. So for the tagline, again, let's add an animator position property, and this time move it down in the composition. And now let's open the range selector again and add a keyframe on the start property, and again jump on to next 40 frame and add keyframe and give it 100%. Again, let's go to advanced and change the mode from character to word. Let's easy is the keyframe, and let's move on to the motion graph editor and just make a spike at the start and increase the ease at the end. And then I would like to start the tagline animation few frames after the logo title appears. So somewhere around here. And let's preview the final animation. So this time just turn on the visibility of all the layers. Alright, so here is our final logo animation. Alright, so that was all for this video. And if you don't want to animate the logo all by yourself, then I'm also providing you with a logo animation template with 5 unique logo animations which is fully customizable. You can get it from our official website, that is again linked in the description. So that is it. I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.